I'm sure everyone will be interested in learning more about the hidden side of the lives of famous legendary rappers, their melodies, the complexities of life behind prison walls. Today, we're diving into their compelling narratives. You are on Mega Fact TV. Sit back and let's begin, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. This way, you will thank me for my work. In November 2018, famous rapper from the USA 6ix9ine, whose real name is Daniel Hernandez, was arrested and jailed on racketeering charges, with a trial date set for September 2019. Given the option to strike a plea deal with prosecutors, the Brooklyn rapper decided not to take it as he pleaded not guilty. Judge had called the 23-year-old a model prisoner. He was sentenced to 2 years in prison in 2019 and was granted an early release the following year due to the spread of COVID-19. Since his release, 6ix9ine has returned to the stage and his lavish lifestyle. Senegal descent famous rapper and singer Akon was part of an auto theft criminal band and spent 3 years in prison from 1999 to 2002. In April 2008, the Smoking Gun website challenged his claim with court records and interviews with detectives involved in Akon's case, concluding that he was not convicted of any crime and did not serve time in prison. Akon responded to the report by saying that he never spent 3 years in prison, but had many shorter sentences that add up to 3 years. Nowadays, Akon has been prolific in charitable and philanthropic endeavors. He launched the non-profit Akon Lighting Africa in 2014 and began development on his own city in Senegal, scheduled to open to the public in 2026. Robert Sylvester Kelly is an American singer, songwriter, record producer, and convicted child sex offender, charged with 21 counts in sexual acts with a minor. Kelly, sentenced to 20 years for child sex crimes. The singer will serve most of the sentence in federal prison, at the same time as a 30-year term for racketeering and sex trafficking. In the latest interview about sex abuse allegations made against him, R. Kelly says, "I'm not Lucifer, I make mistakes, but I am not a devil." Jase Dwayne Ricardo Onfroy is an American rapper, singer, and songwriter. He was sent to a youth detention center for gun possession, arrested and charged with robbery and assault with a deadly weapon, arrested for false imprisonment, witness tampering and aggravated battery of a pregnant victim, released in December 2017 on house arrest. In 2018, he was killed for the purpose of robbery by armed criminal group. Marion Hugh Knight is an American music executive who is the co-founder and former CEO of legendary Death Row Records. He was arrested many times in 1997 for violating his probation from a 1992 assault conviction. Following a few stints in jail, he was then sentenced to 28 years in prison in 2018 after pleading no contest to voluntary manslaughter in a fatal 2015 hit and run. He drove his car into a Compton businessman Terry Carter and killed him. Famous rapper and founder of the hip-hop label Bad Boys Records, Sean Combs, aka P. Diddy, was arrested and charged with criminal possession of a weapon and possession of stolen goods in 90s. In 2023, Sean Diddy Combs accused of sexual abuse by 2 women. Also, 2 more women have come forward to accuse Combs of sexual abuse, a week after the music mogul settled a separate lawsuit with the singer Cassie that contained allegations of rape and physical abuse. As a result, Diddy was not arrested. Famous rapper from the USA, Cameron Thomas, aka Wiz Khalifa, was arrested in 2010 on drug trafficking charges, but he was not in prison for long. Wiz Khalifa has always been a hard work and prolific musical artist. In 2023, he's shown no signs of slowing down. The rapper has announced that he'll be releasing a mixtape titled Decisions, making it his 3rd tape release of the year. Famous American rapper Lil Wayne was sentenced in 2007 to 1 year in prison for gun possession, and then he was sentenced for several different crimes. He was released from Rikers Island Jail on November 2010 after serving 8 months of his year-long sentence. On December 2020, Carter pleaded guilty to a federal firearms charge brought against him by the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Florida. This plea stemmed from an incident during December of the previous year. when Carter was arrested in Florida after transporting a loaded handgun on his private jet from California. As a convicted felon, he is barred from possessing such weapons. He was pardoned by US President Donald Trump on January 2021, his last full day in office. American rapper and record producer Malcolm James McCormick, aka McMiller, and his friends were arrested for possession of marijuana. They had to spend the night in jail in 2011. Miller struggled with addiction and substance abuse, which was often referenced in his lyrics. He died in 2018 from an accidental drug overdose of cocaine, fentanyl, and alcohol at his home at the age of 26. Inga DeCarlo Fung Marchand, aka Foxy Brown, is an American rapper, was sentenced to 3 years probation in October 2006 for assaulting the stylists, but in September 2007, a judge ruled she was not taking probation seriously and sent her prison for 1 year. She was freed from a New York City prison on Friday after serving 8 months of a 1-year sentence stemming from an assault of 2 nail salon stylists over a $20 manicure. American rapper Radrick Delantic Davisaka, aka Gucci Mane, spent time in jail on a few occasions, most notably for hitting a promoter in the head with a pool cue in 2005 and violating his probation from his assault conviction. On December 2013, Gucci Mane was charged in federal court with 2 counts of possessing a firearm as a felon. According to the federal prosecutor, Gucci Mane was in possession of 2 different loaded guns between September 12 and 13, 2013, and could be sentenced to up to 20 years in prison. On May 2016, Gucci Mane was released from prison ahead of his scheduled September date. This was due to Gucci Mane not initially being credited for the time he served while waiting for his court date. American rapper Jeffrey Bruce Atkins, aka J. Rule, was arrested on gun charges after a hip-hop concert in 2007. In 2011, he was sentenced to 28 months in prison after failing to pay $1 million in taxes between 2004 and 2008, prosecutors said. He was released from prison early on May 2013. By July 2017, Ja Rule faced more than a dozen lawsuits filed by ticket buyers and investors in the failed Fyre Festival, and his partner in the venture, Billy McFarland, had been indicted for fraud. But in November 2019, charges were reportedly dropped against Ja Rule in connection with the lawsuits. Lauryn Hill is an American rapper, singer, songwriter, and record producer. Hill was convicted of tax evasion in 2013 and sentenced to 3 months in jail and 1 year parole. In July 2005, Kimberly Denise Jones, aka Lil Kim, was sentenced to 1 year in prison. She was convicted of 3 counts of conspiracy and 1 count of perjury for lying to a grand jury about her co-manager, Damian D-Rock Butler, and bodyguard Sweef Gutter Jackson's involvement in a 2001 shooting outside New York City radio station, Hot 97. She served the entirety of her sentence at the Federal Detention Center, Philadelphia in Center City, Philadelphia. Michael Lawrence Tyler, aka Mystikal, well-known rapper from the 90s. In 2003, he was sentenced to a 6-year prison term for sexual battery and extortion. On July 2022, Mystikal was arrested in Ascension Parish, Louisiana. According to WDSU Louisiana, Mystikal faces the following 5 charges: simple criminal damage to property, false imprisonment, domestic abuse, battery and strangulation, simple robbery, and first-degree rape. If convicted, he faces a mandatory sentence of life in prison. Investigations are currently ongoing. Corey Miller, aka C-Murder, is an American rapper and also the brother of another famous rapper and businessman, Percy Robert Miller, aka Master P. In August 2009, he was sentenced to life in prison for second-degree murder. He is currently in prison and asking for a new investigation into his case. Calvin Cordazar Broadus, aka Snoop Dogg, is an American rapper and actor. Snoop served time multiple times in the few years after he finished high school. Tupac Shakur, also known by his stage names Tupac and Machiavelli, was an American rapper and actor. He was arrested several times. In 1994, Tupac is served 11 months in prison for sexual assault, but was released pending an appeal of his conviction in 1995. On February 1995, he was sentenced to 18 months to prison by a judge who decried an act of brutal violence against a helpless woman. In October, he bonded out of the maximum security Dannemora Clinton Correctional Facility in the process of appealing his conviction. Once Suge Knight, chief of Death Row Records, arranged for posting of his $1.4 million bond. In September 1996, Tupac Shakur was fatally shot in a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas, Nevada. He remains the best rapper of all time. Earl Simmons, known professionally as DMX, was an American rapper and actor. DMX broke the record on this list since he was imprisoned 30 times in his entire life. There were different reasons. Here are some of them: criminal possession of a weapon, robbery, assault, carjacking, animal cruelty, reckless driving, driving under the influence, unlicensed driving, drug possession, probation violation, failure to pay child support, pretending to be a federal agent, and tax evasion. On the morning of April 2021, Simmons lost functionality in multiple essential organs, reportedly his liver, kidneys, and lungs, and was pronounced dead shortly after, at age 50. Christopher Wallace, better known by his stage names, the Notorious B.I.G. Biggie Smalls, or simply Biggie, was an American rapper, legendary hip-hop artist. Notorious Big dropped out of school at the age of 16 to sell crack on the streets of Brooklyn, and at the same time, he began to get involved in rap culture. In 1991, he was put in prison for 9 months. Notorious B.I.G. was murdered in a drive-by shooting in the early hours of March 1997 in Los Angeles, California. He was 24 years old. As we see, the lives of many legendary rappers were as complex as the lyrics of their tracks. If you're intrigued by the intersection of music and adversity, be sure to hit that like button, share with fellow music enthusiasts, and please subscribe to my channel for more interesting videos.